You open your eyes to an unfamiliar hush, the map of yesterday torn by uncertainty. Will this dawn find you or leave you wandering? Across the window pane, a pale ribbon of light unfurls, announcing an awakening dawn that coaxes even weary lungs to breathe deeper. Within that pastel glow, a gentle remembering stirs, reminding you that the God who shaped each sunrise still calls you by name. He stands as unwavering refuge, quick to whisper your beloved identity more surely than any failure can deny. So this moment invites you to hush agendas, unclench restless hands, and welcome His guiding light into the corridors of today. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new every morning. Lamentations 3:2, 23 fresh mercy waits like dew on untouched fields. Receive it before the heat of tasks lifts it away. Which burden presses hardest, and which dream trembles for lack of courage? Name them before the one who breathes steadfast courage and traces purposeful steps for every seeking soul. Now, as your heartbeat settles and the room brightens, you step into the first quiet embrace of prayer, trusting dawn to remind you who you are. Morning's first blush rests on the edge of your curtains, and you sense the world exhale in soft relief, as if all creation waited for you to open your eyes. You rise slowly, feeling the touch of cool floorboards, and every heartbeat becomes a drum announcing that grace has granted another beginning. In this fragile hour, the city still yawns, traffic screams, and demands have not yet flooded the streets, so silence reigns like a gentle monarch. Do not rush past it. Instead, stand at the threshold between darkness and daybreak, and notice how shadows retreat before even the faintest glow. The lesson is simple yet radical. A single beam of truth can scatter fear's entire militia. Look eastward. Clouds blush rose and gold, a watercolor of promises. You recall that yesterday's storms felt endless, yet here you are, untouched by lightning, greeted by color. Creation becomes a living parable. Light returns without argument, just as divine faithfulness returns without being earned. Let that certainty soak bones still stiff with worry. Place a hand over your chest and feel the rhythm that began before your first memory. Each pulse is a signature of heaven's perseverance in you. In Him was life, and that life was the light of men. St. John 1:4. The breath within your lungs is proof that light still flows, illuminating every hidden corridor of your being. Now consider the spaces still dim inside, the unsaid apology, the doubt about your future, the lingering grief you carry like a stone in your pocket. Invite dawn into those rooms. Imagine sunbeams sliding under closed doors, painting corners once forgotten. Whisper, even if silently, light come. You will not startle heaven, such prayer is its native language. As radiance grows, so does clarity. You notice the outline of tasks waiting on your desk, yet they no longer dictate your identity. Light names you first cherished: steward, pilgrim. Every role, worker, sibling, friend, flows from that earlier benediction. Allow self-definitions drafted by anxiety to crumble like night's brittle crust. Instead, anchor your soul to the sunrise itself, constant and generous. You may falter, but light keeps arriving. Your mistakes are not sun-proof. Grace overflows the horizon again and again. Breathe deeper now. Let ribs expand as if the horizon has moved inside you. Feel oxygen travel, delivering courage to timid corners. Stand near the window, palms open, and speak gratitude for resilience you did not engineer, for morning's quiet counsel, for the promise that today will unfold under holy illumination. Trust that guidance will come at the pace you can bear, a lantern for each step, not a blinding spotlight that steals dependence. Before turning to the day's first task, linger one heartbeat longer. Frame your schedule like a doorway through which light must pass. If any plan shadows your soul, lay it down now. Ask, does this reflect sunrise, or does it mimic the night I have just left? Walk only with what glows. The rest can wait for clearer skies. Let birdsong outside be your amen. Their choruses testify that dawn is not earned, it is given. So take your first purposeful breath, feel warmth on your skin, and step forward. Aware, aligned, awake, you sit with shoulders unburdened by hurry and allow the dawn to linger, trusting that remembrance grows best in unrushed spaces. The room is still, but memory stirs, a quiet river beneath surface thoughts, gently carrying yesterday's evidence of mercy back into view. You recall the laugh that surprised you during grief, the friend who texted at the exact moment tears brimmed, the window of provision that opened when resources thinned. Each recollection glows like embered coals, proof that unseen hands tended your nights. Yet deeper than events lies a truer remembrance, the voice that first addressed you long before mistakes scribbled over confidence. The voice that spoke existence into nothing and still says, "You are mine." You breathe that ancient promise, letting it settle into marrow. "See, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands." Isaiah 49:6, your name rests where divine pulse beats. Every rise and fall of eternal heart remembers you. Lift your gaze from internal storms to the gentle map of scars on Christ's hands. They testify that forgetfulness is impossible for heaven. When shame argues that you are abandoned, place that accusation beside nail prints and let it fall silent. Turn memories into a litany of gratitude. Whisper thank yous for small rescues, unseen protections, moments of inexplicable peace. Gratitude becomes mnemonic. Each acknowledgement etches truth deeper than dread. Now, consider the stories you repeat about yourself, the labels stamped by comparison, the nicknames failure assigned. Hold them to morning light. Ask, do these stories align with the engraving on his palm? If not, release them like dandelion seeds on a breeze that knows where to carry lies out of sight. Imagine new words descending, beloved, chosen, held. Let syllables of grace repopulate your inner landscape, crowding out counterfeit titles. The earth outside corroborates this kindness. Sparrows flit between branches, never anxious about forgotten meals. Lilies burst open without rehearsing color charts. Their existence preaches remembrance. Creator always supplies what he claims. Join their humble choir by aligning your posture. Straighten spine. Relax jaw, unclasp fists. Physical openness invites spiritual recall. Yet memory often competes with current static. Notifications, deadlines, unresolved conversations. Guard this gentle hour by naming distractions aloud and setting them aside, like stones stacked beside a river crossing. Each stone marks what can wait until later, reminding you that identity precedes activity. You are not tasks completed, but promises kept by another. Let a slow inhale draw yesterday's worry out. Let a measured exhale carry in holy recognition. Repeat as needed until breath transforms into prayer. Speak softly, I remember you, because you remember me. In that exchange, lostness loosens its grip, and coordinates of belonging emerge. Before moving on, trace 3 memories of divine nearness onto paper or mind's page. Perhaps a verse appearing at perfect timing, a stranger's kindness, or the inexplicable calm that visited an anxious corridor. These memorial stones will line the path ahead, guiding feet when clouds thicken again. Pack them tenderly into heart's pocket, they weigh little yet anchor greatly. Morning advances, and with it comes purpose, but you carry it differently now. Identity reclaimed by remembrance walks lighter, speaks gentler, loves wider. Step away from the window ready to meet tasks as one already known. The day cannot steal what dawn returned. You move from window to small mirror, expecting yesterday's tired reflection, yet dawn's glow frames a face the Father delights to claim. In that gentle light, you notice lines of laughter and valleys of grief. Terrain that tells a longer story than today's agenda. The voice that called galaxies into being now calls you beloved, not based on flawless record, but on covenant devotion deeper than any fault line. Pause, let that reality sink past surface thoughts until bones warm and posture loosens. Sacred affection is rewriting the narrative etched across every worry, furrowed brow. The world has marketed countless definitions, success measured in digits, worth gauged by applause, belonging granted to those who match the mold. Yet none can withstand the searching gaze of dawn. Take each borrowed label in hand: underachiever, imposter, too much, never enough, and hold it to rising light. Watch ink fade, paper disintegrate, vacancy appear where counterfeit names once clung. In their place, hear the ancient affirmation. See what great love the Father has lavished on you, that you should be called children of God. A 1 John 3:1. Childship is not a contract to maintain, but a heartbeat bestowed. You can neither outgrow nor forfeit the surname grace assigns. Imagine heavenly handwriting tracing letters over your heart cherished, redeemed, sent. As each word settles, notice the quiet authority it carries. Fear shrinks under that script. Insecurity loses its megaphone. Let this baptism of identity flow through veins like sunrise over a valley, flooding every ravine where uncertainty once echoed. Breathe slowly. Receive what already belongs to you. Creation offers corroboration. Meadowlarks announce their song without audition. Wildflowers stand vivid, though no audience applauds. Rivers carve canyons, while unseen by crowds. Their confidence springs from design, not performance. Step outside or picture it in mind. A single leaf lifts on breeze, a sermon preaching that existence itself is divine affirmation. Join that liturgy by relaxing shoulders, uncrossing arms, inhaling promise. Now turn inward again and ask, how would a beloved child schedule this day? Perhaps ambition morphs into stewardship, comparison into celebration, haste into holy curiosity. Let plans adjust accordingly. Write appointments in pencil under banner of son or daughterhood. If time bends, identity stays. When criticism arrives, place it beside your engraving on his hand. When success surprises, receive it as inheritance, not validation. End this moment by kneeling, whether physically or within imagination, and thank the giver whose name for you cannot be revoked. Whisper, because you love me, I can walk free. Because you claim me, I can claim this day for kindness. Rise slowly, carrying a posture that speaks before any word. You are found, You are named. You are home. You slip through the doorway and feel dawn embrace the earth like a gentle compass, every shaft of radiance pointing onward. Mist hovers over grass. Translucent veils parting as the sun elevates. What was vague a moment ago grows distinct, proving that clarity often arrives in increments rather than flood. Pause on the threshold and notice how illumination travels. First your porch, then the path, then far off rooftops, as if heaven is lighting stones beneath your feet exactly when you must step. Receive the rhythm revelation, then motion, more revelation, then another stride. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. Psalm 119:105. Guidance is not a distant lighthouse, but a lantern carried beside you. Bright enough for the next few paces, tender enough to keep you close to the guide. Hold today's unanswered questions before this glow. Which decision worries you? Which fork in the road feels treacherous? Picture each dilemma resting on dew, kissed grass, and watch beams glide across them, revealing textures you missed in twilight. Perhaps the option you feared hides unexpected mercy, or the route you coveted bears subtle thorns. Trust the light to expose both gift and hazard with equal kindness. Listen too, for guidance arriving as hush. A breeze threads through leaves, shaping a soft lullaby. You sense an inner tug to slow, to breathe, to match cadence with spirit rather than schedule. Follow that nudge. Set aside the urge to sprint toward distant horizons. Even marathoners keep eyes on the meter of road directly ahead. Guidance flourishes in present tense, not speculative future. Now, practice responsiveness. Take one small step. A note of encouragement, a pause to pray before sending email, a choice to drink water before more coffee, then wait for fresh direction. Like a painter adding stroke upon stroke, divine wisdom colors your day stroke by deliberate stroke. Resist the panic of blank canvas. Light already sees the completed masterpiece and only asks you to touch the next shade. Should clouds gather, remember that luminance is not diminished by obstruction. It often diffuses, softening harsh outlines and sheltering fragile shoots from glare. If circumstances thicken into grey, recall fire, pillar nights of Israel and glow within storm moments in your own story. Whisper, guide me even here, and look for subtler signals. An unexpected text, a line of song, an inner peace diverging from logic. Radiance wears many garments. Let gratitude seal perception. Thank the guide for each lit pebble, whether obvious or barely discernible. Gratitude polishes sight. The more you acknowledge, the keener your vision grows. Soon you notice splendor twinkling off raindrops, direction hidden in ordinary exchanges, assurance woven into routine. You realize nothing is random under watchful brilliance. As morning stretches, raise your face toward widening sky. Feel warmth brush skin like a promise that no corridor today lies beyond reach of holy glow. Carry that certainty into hallways, meetings, and commutes. When confusion whispers, pause, breathe, and recall first light on porch stones, the pattern of enough, for now that will repeat until dusk. You are not navigating alone. You are following a companion who authored sunrise purely to remind you of his presence. Let the chirp of a lone bird become your quiet amen. Its flight traces unseen currents, yet never doubts the air upholding it. In the same way, trust invisible leadership to bear you through turns you cannot yet predict. Step forward illuminated, attentive, and unafraid. You step onto the street where morning softness hardens into clamor. Horns blare, headlines shout, deadlines loom like jagged cliffs. Yet something within remains unshaken, anchored to dawn's whisper that you are held. The test of faith rarely waits for perfect stillness. It ambushes you in crowded metros, tense meetings, sudden news. Rather than brace with clenched fists, you breathe the slow resolve of lions who know whose mark they bear. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. See Joshua 1:9. Presence, not circumstance, determines the measure of your bravery. Companionship of the Almighty turns ordinary ground into holy battlefield. Recall moments when spine bowed beneath burden, yet somehow straightened. Crisis calls you answered without trembling voice. Losses you survived when support seemed absent. Nights you kept watch while hope flickered but did not die. Each memory proves courage is not adrenaline but promise incarnate, an inner pillar built from previous deliverances. Stack them like stones in a river to mark the crossing from fragile to fortified. Now survey today's landscape, a project teetering on failure, a conversation that threatens rejection, a diagnosis still uncertain. Write each concern in invisible ink across your palm. Then close your hand around it. Feel pulse throb beneath skin, and remember that lifeblood itself is testimony that fear has not won. Open your fingers and imagine wind carrying those scripts upward where divine eyes read, and respond with strategy tailored to your frame. Courage often enters through posture. Lift chin so vision clears, settle shoulders so lungs expand, uncurl toes so stance roots. This bodily openness instructs soul to expect provision. When threats advance, you need not summon swagger. You simply align with sustaining breath that never falters. Practice speaking truth aloud. I am not alone. Strength goes before me. Words carve neural pathways where panic once sprinted unchecked. Should doubts heckle, answer with recounting. List 3 times light pierced peril, 3 ways community stood guard, 3 scriptures that echo like shields. Repetition forges armor better than silence. Notice creation's quiet companions, oak trees holding ground against squall. Small ants marching with unwavering diligence, mountains that refuse relocation. Their witness calls you to rootedness, endurance by remaining, fortitude by faithfulness to place. You need not conquer valleys in a single stride. Courage thrives in step-by-step obedience. Permit yourself holy audacity to attempt the noble, even if success feels improbable. Offer forgiveness first. Propose solution others avoid. Volunteer for tasks outside comfort. Outcomes rest with sovereign hands. Your part is consent. Boldness is less about guaranteed victory and more about willingness to answer when light says go. End this passage by envisioning a flaming torch passed from heaven to your grasp, its heat neither scorching nor dimming. Hold it close, let fiery glow chase remaining shadows from mind's alleys. Pray, guide my feet, brace my heart, let this flame light paths for others. Then move into the day illumined, steady, unafraid, because steadfast courage has taken residence within. You cross the threshold of your home and feel pavement meet soul like parchment ready for fresh ink. Each stride a sentence written in partnership with heaven's quill. The morning that named you and armed you now invites application. Revelation ripens only when carried into traffic, classrooms, hospital corridors, and kitchen floors. Move deliberately, attentive to quiet nudges hiding inside ordinary stimuli. The barista's wary eyes, the email requiring patience, the stranger fumbling for directions. Purpose is seldom trumpeted. It whispers through needs you are uniquely placed to meet. Hold your schedule loosely, palms open to divine edits. If a detour appears, treat it as potential choreography rather than disruption. Unseen author arranges scenes to advance mercy's plot. Picture a string of luminant footprints stretching ahead, appearing one by one as you arrive, opportunities to forgive, to serve, to speak truth seasoned with gentleness. Follow them without haste or doubt, trusting that significance is measured by obedience, not applause. When fatigue threatens, recall first light on your curtains, the certainty that day follows night without your engineering. Let that rhythm steady you. Inhale with gratitude, exhale with release, until heartbeat aligns with sacred tempo. Courage that once surged like wildfire now settles into steady ember, warming every encounter. You need not blaze. Constancy can melt the hardest ice. Remember too, that purposeful steps draw others toward their own path. Your calm smile in tense rooms, your silent prayer while elevators ascend, your unhurried listening over lunch. These become lanterns for fellow travelers who still feel lost. Influence is less a spotlight than a constellation. One obedient spark joins, many to map out wonder. Should missteps occur, and they will, refuse despair. Pause, recenter on identity, and rejoin illuminated track. Failure cannot annul commission. It merely highlights the grace that undergirds progress. Permit vulnerability to season witness. Honest acknowledgement of slips models redemption better than flawless execution. As afternoon shadows lengthen, examine pace. Are you moving with joy or compulsion, freedom or fear? Adjust as shepherded by inward calm. Purposeful living is not relentless motion. It includes Sabbath pauses, laughter breaks, and moments where you simply gaze at sky to remember vastness. Every breath can be a step when offered back to the giver. Finally, envision sunset already forming beyond horizon, a promised benediction to this day's pilgrimage. Walk toward it with uncluttered conscience, knowing you have responded to light as best you could. If tasks remain undone, trust them to tomorrow's mercy. Release evening to come, confident that the one who authored sunrise will escort you into rest just as faithfully. Lift chin, square shoulders, and continue. Purpose is the cadence of beloved feet. Let silence cradle you now. Notice the gentle cadence of breath echoing dawn's first whisper. Picture the path awaiting your footprints, each stone brightened by guidance you cannot yet see. Offer a quiet thanks for identity reclaimed, courage bestowed, mission clarified. Invite peace to linger in your chest like steady flame, warming intentions and cooling haste. When the world's noise grows, return to this hush, remembering dawn's promise. You walk known, guided, and equipped. Hold that assurance for a brief, sacred pause. Receive its weightless strength, then rise into purposeful living.